Are we muted?
I muted myself.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, that was silly. Okay, now you're muted and I should be unmuted. Yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay. Okay, so for today's breathing, we are just going to focus on our breath in engagement with our abdominal muscles. So what that's going to look like for some of the postures is we're going to focus on the exhale, which engages our muscles. And in fact, if you're very in tune with your body and very in tune with your breath, you'll notice that every single time you breathe, every inhale, exhale, every exhale especially, your abdominal muscles contract a little bit. And let's just take a couple of moments to see if we can notice that contraction as we breathe. And then you'll be like, wow, I didn't know I was working my abdominal muscles every time I breathe. Let's be still and see if we can feel that minute contraction. So see if you can breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. For me, that's how I can feel it the best. And we'll just start with an inhale and an exhale in and out through the nose. As you inhale, the belly, the diaphragm opens, releases. As you exhale is where you're going to feel the contraction, if you can feel it. It's very subtle and very soft for most of us, but some of us might be able to really feel that engagement that happens when we breathe out. If you're not feeling a contraction and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that is perfectly okay. It doesn't matter. It's not part of our exercise today, more than just trying to create an awareness of it. Okay, so for our first exercise, we're going to get right to it. Well, actually, let's roll our neck a little bit like Karen was doing. I could use that too. Sitting up nice and tall, we're sitting in a position that's comfortable for us. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you. Relax your arms down, maybe wiggle yourself a little bit to get into your position. And we're just going to lower our chin down, take a moment there. Close your eyes, maybe really sense into yourself. And then with an inhale, roll your chin over towards the right shoulder, stretch. With an exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale over to the other side. Exhale, bringing it back to center. Inhaling to the right. Exhaling to center. And just kind of moving at your own pace a little bit. Inhaling up and exhaling down. When you feel done with that, continue on if you'd like to, but when you feel done with that, just roll your shoulders a little bit. In both directions, forward and back. And then any movement that your body is leading you to, feel free to take. All right, coming back to center here, we're gonna get right into some exercises. The first one I wanna do is thread the needle, which is a big shoulder stretch. It's something that we do get on our knees for. If you wanna avoid getting on your knees, it's a simple shoulder stretch that you're just gonna bring the arm across and stretch. For those that are okay getting on their knees, we are gonna go ahead and do that. Getting on the knees. And we're gonna start with our right hand underneath the left arm, lowering down, resting our head, resting our head on the ground so that we're stretching into that right shoulder. So I'll go through that again. Right arm comes behind the left arm, walks its way over to the left as we lower down, resting down onto the ground. Again, if you're remaining upward, you just pull the right arm across. If you've come into the knees position and you would like to add an element of balance to this, carefully lift your left leg up into the sky behind you. Supporting yourself with the left hand. And you might even already begin to engage the core. We'll take about 2 more breaths here in that shoulder stretch. If your leg is up, go ahead and bring the knee down. Gently press through your left arm to raise you back up and place your right hand down on the ground underneath your shoulder. If you're sitting up, go ahead and relax your arms and roll your shoulders a little bit. Moving to the other side, if you're in a seated position, left arm comes up and across. And if you're on your knees, left arm's gonna come behind the right arm, reaching out to the right, lowering down, resting your head on the ground. The right hand is supporting you in whatever way is comfortable. And then the right leg might come up behind you if you want to add that element of balance. Two breaths. If your leg is up, replace your right knee down onto the ground. Relax your arms down or come back up to hands and knees. Next, we're gonna go through cat-cow a couple of times. If you are sitting, you can, from sitting, do your cat-cow, or from hands and knees, your cat-cow with an inhale to cow and an exhale to cat. Or if you're sitting, an inhale to cow and an exhale to cat. Move through it a few times at your own pace. And when you're ready, come back to a neutral spine. Okay, first exercise we're going to do to engage our core muscles is a hands and knees crunch. I'm going to run through that and then I'll show you the standing version. So in our hands and knees crunch, obviously if we're doing abdominal movements, it's important to engage the core. The simplest way to do that in this position is by drawing your navel up toward your spine. So pull your belly button up toward your back. And if that's easy enough for you to bring it up towards your back, then see if you can lift it higher towards your ribs. So belly button in towards your spine, up towards your ribs. Okay. We start out in a spinal balance. Right arm reaches forward, left leg reaches back. Flex your left foot so it's not pointed, it's flexed. Good. And to do this exercise, we inhale, lengthen the spine, and then we exhale, round the spine, left knee meets the right elbow underneath the body. And then we inhale, extend, lengthen the spine, and we exhale, crunch it in. Now, if I'm doing this standing, I come to standing, and it becomes a balancing posture. So I might need to hold on to a chair. It's gonna be the same exact way, only standing. So it's gonna be left leg out, right arm up. We inhale, lengthen, and then we exhale, crunch. And inhale, lengthen, and exhale, crunch. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to do the on the knees or if you want to do the standing up. Remember, unmute yourself if you have any questions. We're going to do this starting from now. We're going to do 10 more of these. So inhale, extend, and exhale, crunch it in. And about 5 more. I'm going to see how we're doing. Good. Let's do one more and we're gonna hold the crunch, okay? So even if you're standing, this is really gonna be balanced, but if you're on your hands and knees, won't be quite as tough maybe. With an inhale, extend, and an exhale, crunch, hold the crunch for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, extend, and bring it down. Good. If you're on your hands and knees, curl your toes under, rest on your heels to stretch the bottom of your feet. Give it a couple moments to give your wrists a break, maybe even moving your wrists about. Or if you're standing, maybe shake out that leg that was doing all of the balance work. And if you were standing, or if you were on your hands and knees, feel free to change for the next side, because we're going to do the other side. So feel free to try what it'd be like standing, or to try what it'd be like on your knees. Okay, we ready to go? Let's do it. So we're either on our hands and knees, or we are standing. If we're on our hands and knees, this time it's going to be left arm extended out, right leg back, toes flexed toward your body rather than pointed away from you. And if we're standing, left leg's down, right leg's out, left arm's gonna be up, and it's gonna be crunch. Okay? Okay, let's get started. When you are ready, with an inhale, we're going to extend. Draw your navel up. Exhale, bring it in. Crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. See how you guys are doing. Good. Trying to do it with control, trying to really get that crunch in. Focusing on the breaths will help the engagement of the abdominal muscles. Not only that, it will help you strengthen your diaphragm, strengthen your breath. From here, we're going to do about 10 more. No matter if you're standing or on your hands and knees, it becomes a balance exercise, doesn't it? All right. And 3 more. On this last one, we're going to bring it in and hold the crunch. Hold the crunch for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And bring it down. Sit back on your toes if you can. Move your wrists. And if you're standing, shake out your standing leg. Okay, next one we're going to do one more on our hands and knees, and then we're going to come off of our knees. So again, I'm going to show what this one looks like on our knees, and then I'm going to show what it can look like standing up. So for this one, we're going to do a leg pull back. So if you're from Pilates at all, you'll recognize that word. This is a plank pose where we lift a foot off the ground. I'm going to show the full expression of the posture, and then I'm going to show what it might look like in the different levels of where we're at. So in the full expression, we would come into a full plank pose. So that's knees off of the ground at the top of a push-up. And then we would lift our legs straight back behind us and bring it down and go to the other side. Now, if I need a variation, I'm going to keep my knees lower. But you notice my knees are no longer directly underneath my hips. My knees are back away from my hips so that my core really has to be engaged to support this. And I'm going to do the same thing. Leg up, other leg up. Okay? If that's even a little bit too much work on the core strength, I'm going to bring my knees in and do the same thing. Leg up, other leg up. Now, if I am standing up, this is totally a balancing act. Navel draws in. I'm going to reach forward, right leg back, and up, and left leg back, and up. It's up to you which variation you want to do. We're going to do about 10 in total. So we'll do 5 on the right side, 5 on the left side. So whichever variation you think is going to be best for you, and you can try the full plank or one of the modified planks, or you can try standing. Let's go ahead and begin, even if you've already started, begin again. And when you're ready, core is engaged. Right leg up or back, left leg up or back. Right leg, left leg. And we're gonna do about 8 more times in total. I'm gonna see how we're doing. Good. If we're in a full plank with knees off of the ground, we wanna try not to let our bottom come up too high, because then the work comes out of our core. And it moves into our arms, and we don't need it to move into our shoulders and arms. Let's do 5 more altogether. And about 4 more. Let's say last one on each side. And go ahead and either come back down to the ground, or actually come down to the ground, because we're all gonna come lay on our tummy. How did we do with that? That's a tough one, isn't it? No, it wasn't tough? No, I couldn't do it. All right, come down onto your belly. Mushy. Oh, my puppies are so excited about our ground play this morning. Okay, we're gonna come into a Sphinx pose. So with your forearms on the ground, elbows directly underneath your shoulders, palms flat on the ground, fingers spread wide, looking down, point your toes, press your pelvis into the ground if that feels okay for you. And I don't mean your pubic bone, I mean your pelvis. So really your ASIS bones, if you're familiar with that, that's the 2 hip bones that you feel protruding on at either side of your body, okay? Press those into the ground as much as you can. Okay, press the thighs and the tops of the feet into the ground. And then with an inhale, lift from your belly button. Lift your belly button, your chest, and then relax your shoulders away from your ears. You might feel your buttocks tensed up here, or it might be relaxed, depending on your body, either one. Looking straight forward, focus on a long neck, shoulders away from your neck or away from your ears, and pressing the hips into the ground while lifting the chest away from the navel. One more breath here. Go ahead and relax down. Give your neck a break for a moment. And from here, we're gonna raise both arms out in front of us. Looking down, head off of the ground. Now, if I have anybody here with neck problems, you can rest your head on the ground to help protect your neck. Both arms out, both legs straight behind you. Draw your belly button up as if it's not lying on the ground at all. And we're gonna lift the right arm and left leg simultaneously. Right arm, left leg up, and then down. Left arm, right leg up, and down. Other side up, and down. Left arm, right leg up, down. Again, other side. Good. Left arm, and down. Right arm, and down. Imagine a long body as you go through this. Imagine that hand is reaching out in front of you and that leg is reaching back behind you. Remember to breathe. There's a lot of core work we're doing, strengthening the back muscles, strengthening the deeper abdominal muscles, the ones that really give you support. One more time each side, ending on the left side. And when you're done, relax your head down, take a couple breaths. From here, we're gonna take a downward facing puppy dog. Susan, are you needing to say something? Unmute yourself if you do. All right, we're gonna come up to our hands and knees. For those of us who have a hard time on our knees, this pose we're about to go into takes pressure out of our knees, so it shouldn't be an issue, but if it is, go ahead and come up to standing because that's where we're headed. So for downward facing puppy, we're gonna reach our arms forward. So our arms are breaking the rolls of aligned underneath the shoulders, but our knees are aligned underneath our hips. And we're going to drop our chest downward. The chest and the head both stay off of the ground. The hips stay high, but we're going for a deep stretch in the chest, underarms, shoulder area. Deep stretch through the spine as well. Keep both arms straight and keep both arms off of the ground. So the only thing touching the ground is the hands, the knees, and the feet. If you feel this too much in the knees, feel free to come to standing or put more pressure into the upper body. One more breath. From here, see if you could take this into a downward facing dog. I need my mat. From here, to take it to a downward facing dog, you would curl your toes under, knees off of the ground, hips high. Upper body really doesn't change at all, just the knees come off of the ground and the hips raise higher. And then see if you can walk your feet forward up towards your hands, relaxing your head down into a forward fold. In that forward fold, cross your arms, relax your head, and let your body just hang heavy. Maybe move your body a little bit. Relax your arms down and slowly roll up to standing. If you feel lightheaded at all upon standing, tuck your chin down. All right, are we all up? I think we're all up. We're gonna go into a chair pose. Chair pose is one that we don't necessarily think about as core engagement, but it really is if we're doing it correctly. So let's bring our feet together. Okay. Lift your toes. See if you can spread your toes and then plant your toes back down. Good. Now we're going to draw our navel in really tight and then lift it up. That alone should even correct your posture, causing you to stand up real straight. Engage your inner thighs in towards each other. Squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. Good. With that alignment, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And exhale, lower your bottom back. Looking up towards the sky if you can. Okay. And keep that navel pulled in nice and tight. As we breathe there, it becomes core engagement. One more breath. Straighten your legs and bring your arms down. Shake it out a little bit if you need to. All right, let's come to the top of our mat if we're not already there. And we're going to go into a lunge. And again, because we're really focusing on the core today, I want to keep that focus on the core. So from mountain pose, navel's drawn in and up. Keep navel drawn in and up. You'll see the difference if you don't normally stay engaged. You'll see the difference when we go into our lunge. We've done a lot of lunges this term. You'll see the difference as we do with the core engaged. Staying engaged on your inhale, left leg's coming straight back, right knee's bending, navel's in and up. And let's reach both arms up. Good, both hips are facing forward. They should be facing me. And then we're gonna go into a little bit of a back bend. Looking up, this becomes a balancing pose. Good, and now left hand is gonna come all the way down to the ground if you can. Right arm's gonna reach up toward the sky. If you can't bring that left hand all the way down, bring it to your right thigh and right arm up. Modify it as you need to, okay guys? Now bring that right arm down a little bit and reach it. Try to grab what's behind you. Navel still engaged if possible. And with great balance, come back up. Arms reach up. And arms down. Straighten through your front leg. Bring your left foot down, turning it out slightly. Join your hands together, intertwining the fingers. Both legs stay straight. Reach your arms up and pull them back. Look up towards your hands. And reach forward. Again, both legs straight, reaching forward, forward, forward. Good. Keep reaching out. And with an inhale, come back up. Arms down. Bend your right knee slightly, step forward, back to mountain pose. Relax your abdomen for a moment. Let those muscles just be soft. As we head to the other side, we ready to engage. Navel draws in, navel pulls up. Right leg stepping straight back, left knee's bending. Right heel is off of the ground, both hips, both feet are facing totally forward. No side movement at all here, totally forward. Arms reach up when you're ready. Feeling that engaged, strong core, reaching back. Take a couple breaths. All right, coming forward, right hand's coming down to the ground if you can. Left arm's reaching up behind you. Keep the navel pulled in. I know it's tough. Again, modify if you need to. Right hand can be at the thigh or even on a chair or something else. Bring the left hand down a little bit and reach that left hand back. Try to reach what's behind you. Ooh, I'm feeling that in my left thigh. And come on back up. Oh, arms reach up. Arms come down. Straighten through the front leg. Right heel comes down. Turn the right foot out slightly. Intertwine the fingers. This time we're not just going to intertwine the fingers. We're going to push them away from us. So the palms are now facing away from us. Both legs are straight as we reach up and back, looking up towards your fingers. And forward, pushing through your hands. Push, push, push through those hands. And with an inhale, come on back up. Release your arms, bend your knees slightly, step forward. Mountain pose. Shoulders relaxed. Hands at your waist. Pull your waistband up if you need to. And we're going to do a sort of marching in place balance. When our core is engaged, strong, and nice, our balance becomes easier. Our balance becomes centered. That might take practice, but it does happen eventually. Navel's in, navel's up, hands are at the waist. And we're gonna do a simple, intentional marching in place. Right knee comes up so that the thigh is parallel to the ground, and then back down. Left knee comes up and back down. Right knee up, down, left knee up, down. Good, keep it moving. Remember to breathe. Continue your march in place. Grab a chair if you need to. I've got to grab some water because I'm trying to talk with a dry mouth. Since this is a fairly easy balance, if you wanted to experiment with your focal point, this might be a safe posture to do it. So if you're usually looking at the ground in your balancing poses, try looking at the horizon and see what that feels like. If you're usually looking at the horizon in your balancing poses, try looking up and see what that feels like. And if you're usually looking up in your balancing, try closing your eyes and see what that feels like. It's hard to do with our eyes closed. Just a little bit longer. We're really working our hip flexors here. You can probably feel it. You might feel it in your buttocks muscles. One more time each side. I know that's a long march. We've probably marched a half mile, but it's good for us. Relax it down, shake it out a little bit, wiggle your hips. In fact, let's do our shaking. Let's do some shaking. Shaking the hands and wrists, getting that movement into the elbows and the shoulders, and then the waist, and then the hips, knees, feet. Good, shake it up. Maybe a little vibration even. Jiggle all the jingles. Good. And come back to mountain pose. We're going to go into goddess pose. Goddess pose is another one we've done a lot in this class. It's a great one because it works so many muscle groups. It does the hips, the buttocks, the core, the legs, and even the arms. So we're going to go into goddess pose. Bringing your legs wide, just as wide as is comfortable for you. I'm turning on my mat because I want mat underneath my feet when I'm in goddess pose. And if I were to stay forward, my feet would be on the carpet and I would slip. So it's up to you if you turn or not. We're going to turn both of our feet slightly outward. With an inhale, we're going to reach arms up. Engage your core, navel in, pull it up. Exhale, knees bend, elbows bend. Okay? We're staying upright in our goddess. My pelvis isn't coming back real far. I'm keeping it pretty neutral. And maybe even tucking it forward just slightly depending on how you feel in your body. Inner thighs are engaged towards each other as if the whole leg is pulling in towards each other. If you can, lift up through your pelvic floor, drawing the low muscles of your abdomen in and up. Good, we're gonna hold this for 3 more breaths. Take a break if you need it, just a quick break if you need it, okay? On your next inhale, we're gonna all take a break. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right back to goddess. Inhale, lift your heels off of the ground. And bring them back down. Let's do that 2 more times. With an inhale, heels off of the ground. And back down. Last time on your inhale, heels off of the ground. Down. Straighten your legs, relax your arms. Shake it out. Beautiful. Let's turn this to a reverse warrior. Turning the right foot out even more, so the right foot now faces forward toward the top of your mat. Left foot in, so that your right heel is in alignment with your left arch. Okay. And we're gonna bend the right knee. Left hand at the left thigh. With an inhale, right arm's gonna reach up. And right arm's gonna come back. Good, look up towards your right hand if you can. And engage your core muscles. Pulling them in and up towards your ribs. It becomes a totally different feeling when we engage the core muscles. Just 1 more breath here. Come on back up, ending in warrior 2, arms wide, looking out towards your right middle finger. If you need a break, straighten your right leg. Bending it again, bend to the right elbow, elbow to the thigh, left arm reaches up and overhead. Navel still drawn in. Just 1 more breath. Back to warrior 2. Arms down, straighten the front leg. Right foot turns in, left foot turns out. I know I'm going pretty fast through these, but that's part of the purpose today, to get our blood flowing and our heart rate a little bit quicker than what we normally do. Okay, going to a reverse warrior on the other side. Left toes facing forward or maybe backward, depending on what you've done there. Left arch is in line, or I'm sorry, left heel is in line with the right arch. Inhale, bending the left knee, Right hand to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and back. Looking up towards the left hand if that feels good. Navel's drawn in and up. Inhale, come on back up. Straighten through your leg if you need to. Bend it again, bending the left elbow, forearm to the thigh, right arm reaches up and overhead. And back to warrior two. Arms down, straighten the leg, turn the left foot in. Good job. Walk your feet in towards each other. I'm going to check the time really quick, see how we're doing. Oh, my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, mountain pose. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. Exhale, arms wide, chest forward and down. Relaxing your head down. Hands are going to come either to the ground, to the shin, to the thighs, wherever it is that you can relax your head down. Couple deep breaths here. And then we're coming back to the ground, however you would like to get there. With feet forward. We're going to come into a boat pose. We've done boat pose a few times already in this class. So we have several variations. We're going to all start with our hands underneath our thighs, feet on the ground, knees bent. Lifting up the chest, same thing where we draw the navel in and up towards the rib. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. We lean back a little bit. That engages the core muscles a little bit further. And that might be where you stay, excuse me, in your boat pose, or maybe you'll release your arms, or maybe you'll bring your feet off of the ground, keeping the knees bent, or maybe you'll release your arms, or maybe you'll straighten up your legs, or maybe you'll release your arms there. Wherever you're at, we're going to be here for 3 more breaths. And then allow your boat to sink all the way down to the ground. Okay, from here, we're gonna bring our hands underneath our sacrum, underneath the hips, so that the bony part of your hip is laying on your hands, but likewise the flesh of your bottom is also on your hands. So supporting the low back, straighten the legs. We're gonna bring our heels together. Our heels are together, but our toes are facing away from each other. Kind of like a duck walk, okay? Tuck your chin slightly. Now we're pulling our belly button down towards the mat. We're gonna lift straight legs off of the ground a little bit, heels pressing together. And we're gonna pump our legs, pump. Good. If this hurts your low back, bend your knees and do the same. And we're gonna do it for the count of 10, 9, 8, and we're remembering to breathe, 7, 6, 5, and we're still breathing, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees in towards your chest, release your arms around your shins or thighs. Gently rock side to side. Extend your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms up overhead. Point your toes. Stretch your fingertips. Stretching long through the whole body. Inhale and exhale. Then we're going to relax our right arm down on the ground while we're stretching our left arm and reaching it overhead just slightly, just so we're getting, or that we're intensifying the stretch on the left side of the body. And then to the other side. Intensifying the stretch on the right side of the body. And relaxing it back down. Good. Bend both knees. We're going for a figure 4. Bring your right ankle onto your left thigh. And if it feels okay, left foot off of the ground, right hand between the legs, and stretching the right hip. If you want to stretch your hamstring, you can extend your left leg into the sky as well. See what works best for you there. And let's switch sides, releasing hands, and just simply changing sides. Left ankle on the right thigh, left hand between the legs. Maybe straightening the right leg, maybe keeping it bent. From here, releasing into a butterfly pose, both bottom of the feet together, hands wrapping around the feet, intertwining the fingers if you can. If not, grab your ankles or your knees. Big breath into your belly if possible. One more breath. Releasing it into final relaxation, Shavasana. Extending both legs straight out in front of you, arms to your side, palms facing up to get your shoulders in the right position. Let your toes fall away from each other if that's their natural spot. Tuck your chin very so slightly. Close your eyes. Maybe put a little smile on your face. And just breathe, allowing time for muscle to create that memory and for your body to process what it's done. And we're gonna start gently moving again, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. We're gonna go for one last stretch. just like we did before, reaching the arms up, pointing the toes, stretching through the whole body. And then when you're ready, rolling onto your side to scoop yourself up to seated. While you guys are coming up out of Shavasana, I am going to say namaste and stop the recording, and we can talk after that. So namaste.